So today, lads, we're going to be talking a little bit about Azzi Fudd, who has had a little bit of a reputation at times, and I think wrongly has had a reputation of being a front runner, only good because she's at UConn, doesn't step up in big games. I don't think that reputation is fair, by the way. But that has been the reputation at times with, not specifically Azzi Fudd, just with UConn players. A lot of people believe UConn players are overrated because of the system. And there is obviously the one player that I'm going to be talking about here. I'm going to be making a comparison. And the scary thing is that I do project Azzi to be a better pro. But, I don't even know. So, there is a player that was a number one recruit, just like Azzi Fudd. So Azzi was obviously a number one recruit, and she was a absolutely elite shooter. She was injured for a few years, which is going to be held. It has to be held against her, unfortunately, not in talking about her ability and projecting her as a prospect. But if you want to look at Azzi Fudd for her career, so this season, obviously, it's her best season of her career by quite a lot. The best season of her career. She was terrible today, but good defensively, shooting a solid 49% from the field. And what she's shooting from three. So she shot 49% from the field. She's shooting 43% from three and 90% from the free throw line. Or say 45% from this year, 49, 45, 95. Like, they are impressive numbers. 47, 43, 91. Obviously only played 2 games in 23, 24. Played 15 games the year before, averaging 15 points per game. I think they actually might have beaten Iowa this year. I can't remember. There was one year they beat Iowa off the back of an Azzi Fudd masterclass. But it's the first time she's averaged over 15 points per game in college. And she's averaged about 13, 14 points per game for her college career. And I'm like, not bad, especially when you're at UConn. But there is a player I'm going to talk about who was a number one recruit. Not only was she a number one recruit, she was a number one recruit, went to UConn, won a national title, made 2 more All-American teams than Azzi, was the 2-time AAC Player of the Year. And we're talking about Katie Lou Samuelson, who for her WNBA career, who averaged 4.3 points per game for the Fever. But if you look at Katie Lou Samuelson, at UConn, Katie Lou averaged 20 points per game as a sophomore. Undefeated. Yes, I understand they lost because of the shot from Enrique. Undefeated regular season. 20 points per game as a sophomore. 17.4 points per game as a junior. 18.5 as a senior. Shooting 53-47 as a junior on 17.4 points per game. Shooting 48, 42, 84, 45, 37. Not the greatest shooting splits her senior year. But she had 2 years where she had comparable counting stats and And by the way, she's averaged more assists per game. 4 assists per game versus 3. Where she had better counting stats than Azzi Fudd. For teams who were undefeated. Title team, undefeated. So she did all of this, and in the WNBA was at her best was a 10-point per game scorer before missing an entire year after having a kid. And yeah, her previous season was a 10-point her best season was a 10-point per game season. And yeah, her stats in college. And by the way, anyone saying, oh, but like Azzi Fudd's way better. It's like, why? Because we know in hindsight how Katie Lou didn't translate to the WNBA. Because in college, Katie Lou was a better player in college than Azzi Fudd was. Just putting it out there. And I'm not making a knock on Azzi Fudd, but like everyone being like, this is the most sure thing ever and she's a guarantee of anything. There is no situation where anyone is a guarantee. Do I think Azzi Fudd is going to be a better pro than Katie Lou Samuelson? Yes, I do. But like for me, when it comes down to it, like when it comes down to Duke, sorry not Duke, geez, UConn, shooters, there are very much parallels between how these two players played in college. And yeah, Azzi Fudd might come out with an extra title, but like Katie Lou was just on teams that should. Katie Lou was on more 3 teams that should have won a title. And I just don't. No one knows how the fuck they didn't. Well, 2 teams especially that were undefeated and just didn't win a title. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. Azzi Fudd lost more games last season than Katie Lou lost in 4 years in college. Like, it's not funny. And we're watching her show no ability to create her own shot whatsoever. Like, absolutely no ability whatsoever. She can't. She has nothing in terms of shot creating. She has nothing. She cannot create her own shot at the pro level. She struggles at the collegiate level to create her own shot. Like, she is a sniper, an absolute sniper. But like, is she? And she can get her shot off quick. But people are comparing her to Kayla McBride. Kayla McBride is one of the better drivers in the league. I just want to see WNBA 3-point leaders 2025. Like, I'm not joking when I say this. Like, she might be more Bridget Carlton than Kayla McBride. I'm looking through the 3-point made, and just because we've seen today, if teams just guard her on the perimeter and don't leave her wide open, she doesn't do anything. She just doesn't do anything. It's not that she's bad. It's not that even she was even bad today. She was good defensively. But if you guard her on the perimeter, she just doesn't do anything. It's like, I'm looking through and I'm like, what, here's the 3-pointers made per game. Like, could she be another Sammy Wickham? Like, could she be a better Sammy Wickham? Like, I'm talking about floors here, by the way. I'm not talking about, like, ceilings, because, yes, there is a world where she is an all-star. Absolutely. But I'm like, I don't think it will be a surprise if she's younger and better defensive Sammy Wickham. Like, I don't think that's the craziest comparison in the world. I don't think that's the worst comparison either, because people are comparing it to Kayla McBride, and I don't see the comparisons. I just don't, other than the quick release point. I can't see any other real comparisons in terms of play because of the aggressiveness that Kayla McBride has. Where Azzi Fudd, I'm not saying I think she's just naturally, her play style is passive. I don't think she's passive. I don't think she's scared of the bright lights. I think she steps up in big games. I think she hits big shots. But like, is it crazy to say that I think she projects to be an elite 5th starter? Like, a player that you think, damn, this player is going to be absolutely elite if we can get her on a good contract. Like, one of those players where if she's on like a mid-level deal, you're like, we've gotten a steal. I don't know if you take that player at number 1. I just don't. And look, maybe I'm wrong. And I kind of hope I'm wrong, because she seems like a good person overall. She seems like a good person and has been exceptional at Duke. And the shooting is going to translate. Like, if you have a floor of Sammy Wickham, that's not a knock. Saying somebody has a floor of Sammy Wickham is genuinely, you might think that, but that's not an insult. Again, Sammy Wickham had 30-something and a half last year in a game. Like, for her, she has had seasons in her career where she's been if she was given volume, would have been a 15, 16 point per game score. If she was allowed to shoot at the volume, her like efficiency kind of should have allowed. She's won a championship. She won 2? I think she's won 2 championships. Yeah, she's won 2 championships. Like, that is not the lowest, like, that's not a knock on Azzi Fudd, but like, offensively, she might just be Sammy Wickham. Because there is just no ability to create the jump shot. And like, at the pro level, that's where you become an all-star. That's where you become, especially with the expansion. Like, you're not going to be seeing any more Shawnee Schimmels making all-star games averaging single-digit points per game. That's not going to happen again. That's not going to happen. So overall, I'm like, if Azzi Fudd was the 5th, 6th pick in this draft, I would be like, hell yeah. Using a number 5 pick on a player you know has a good chance of coming in as a starter, or is going to be an elite bench player who you know is going to shoot the ball, be one of the top 10 shooters in the league from the second she sets foot in it, who's a plus defender, and a good teammate, good team player, I'd be all for it. But when we're talking about the number 1 pick conversation, maybe it's a little bit different because there's no Page in this year's draft. And like, this is very clearly going to stop the run of, like, if you take out, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like, if you take out, oh my God, I'm just trying to think, fuck. If you take out Charlie Collier, you've got, was Angel McCoughtry the number 1 pick? There's been no misses at number 1 other than Charlie. Yeah, Angel McCoughtry. Who was the 2007 number 1 overall pick? There has to be a rough one. But fuck it. Just say from Candace Parker. There has been the most stupid run, minus Charlie Collier, in a year that doesn't count because of the COVID, because everybody that was good used their COVID year. All the best players decided to use their COVID year and didn't come out that year. So you have a run of Candace Parker, Angel McCoughtry, Tina Charles, Maya Moore, Neka Wumake, Brittany Griner, Chinea Wumake, who, by the way, was very good initially in her career till she got hurt, Jewel Lloyd, Breanna Stewart, Kelsey Plum, Aja Wilson, Jackie Young, Sabrina Ionescu, let's forget Charlie Collier, Ryan Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers. Like, every single one of them is going to be, outside of Chinea, a Hall of Famer. Like, it could be, maybe not Ryan Howard, but is going to be a multiple-time All-Star, one of the best players in the league outside of Chinea. And, like, she might end up, when it's all said and done, being the worst number 1 overall pick. Not the worst non-Charlie Collier number 1 overall pick in 20 years. And I don't know if that's what you take. I don't know if you're Dallas Wings, do you take the safe option at number 1 when Awa's right there? And the fact is that Awa could be Busty McBusterson. Like, she could be the biggest bust ever, but the potential is there. The potential is there. And I don't see Azzi Fudd being anything more than a really good starter. Maybe one-time All-Star. 1-2-time All-Star. I just don't see it. I don't see how no on-ball creation, good off-ball movement, and a quick catch-and-shoot trigger translates to being a star at the pro level. I think it translates to being a really good player. And I don't think there's any scenario where Azzi Fudd, if she wants to, doesn't play 10 years in the WNBA. But, like, she is number 1 because of U contacts. It's simple as that. Like, Azzi's really, really good. But if we're being real here, is Azzi Fudd, does she have the least bust potential in this draft? Yeah. Does Azzi Fudd have the star potential of Awa? No. Does she have the star potential of Miles? No. Does she have the star potential of Flau'jae? No. Does she even have the star potential of... Does she have the upside of Lauren Betts if it all works out for Lauren Betts? No. Even though I would take her over Lauren Betts. Does she have the upside of Flau'jae? No. Does she have the upside of Iana Martin? No. Does she have the upside of Nell Angloma? No. She's the highest floor. And this might be the Zachary Reese of number 1 overall picks. When they looked and said, who are we very sure is going to at least be an impactful player for our team? This could be the Zachary Reese of number 1 overall picks. So anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys.